We sleep in July when it comes to college baseball, and a packed Boshamer Stadium one more time for North Carolina and LSU to move on to Super Regionals. We know 14 of the 16 Super Regional teams. 2 more spots up for grabs the next 6 hours here on ESPN2. And away we go with Sam Dutton starting out to Vance Honeycutt, who, of course, on Saturday, in the first of 3 meetings between these teams, cracked 2 home runs in North Carolina's win over LSU. LSU yesterday, we showed you all the elimination game wins. 2 of them, first against Wofford, then against these Tar Heels, who stranded, what, a dozen last night?
Yeah, 12 left on base for UNC. Basically, it was towards the end of the innings from 6, 7, 8, and 9, where they had guys on base continuously. They just couldn't get that big hit.
One-two pitch. Honeycutt reaches out and singles into center. Had seen some fastballs and stayed on the sharp slider.
And he's been seeing a lot of sliders in this tournament so far. Finally able to stay on one right back up the middle against LSU. He did hit a home run on a slider. When you kind of look at what Dutton has on the mound, the most that he's gone so far this year has been 2 1/3 innings, 40 pitches. So that's where you kind of look at it as, hey, if he starts to get in trouble early, we're going to go right to the pen.
Here's Casey Cook, the first team All-ACC outfielder. He dumps one into right field. 5 pitches in, and it's 2 North Carolina singles, serving as the road team here in Chapel Hill to start out Game 7 of this regional.
One of the things, too, is that UNC has already seen Sam Dutton. They saw him in that first game. Dutton came in and faced 4 batters, allowed a couple walks, a double. So UNC does feel really good against Dutton.
All right, so beyond the guys who have thrown the most, Luke Holman, Gage Jump, and Griffin Herring yesterday, this is the pitches thrown, the pecking order, so to speak, for Jay Johnson, and who's already done what. And again, he said you're going to see a lot of arms. He said in particular probably some of the lefties.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that you would see Thatcher Hurd because he threw 73 pitches. But in these type of games, you never know. Guys just step up. They go right to the coach and say, hey, I'm ready to go. Give me 1 guy. Give me 2 guys. I can give you an inning. This has been talked about before this game even started.
Well, this is Parks Harbor with a golden chance early on for North Carolina. Georgia transfer with 20 home runs. Couple doubles yesterday against LSU. Skies this one foul. You know, back to the LSU pitching. We did get some specifics from Jay Johnson down on the field. Saturday starter Luke Holman, for sure a no-go. Thatcher Hurd, yesterday's hero, he said probably for sure a no-go. Griffin Herring, one of the others, also likely a no-go. And that is Javen Coleman, one of the lefties, already up for the Tigers.
Scoring first has been big. The team that has scored first, UNC versus LSU, has ended up winning that ball game. UNC did it in game 1 versus LSU. LSU did it in game 2.
And then North Carolina was threatening late. Can they cash in early? It's outside. 2-2 on Parks Harbor. For North Carolina offensively, it was 1 run in the 6th inning last night, 2 in the 7th. We told you, stranded a dozen, and 10 of those in the last 4 innings left on base. 2 on, nobody out in the first and the 2-2. Harbor lines it into center, and that drops down in front of Brown. Vance Honeycutt waited on it, so he stops at third, and they're loaded for the Tar Heels.
That tough read for Vance Honeycutt there. That ball was up in the air, long. Smart move, though, by Brown, not to try to just make an exceptional play on that, because if he comes in and tries to dive to make the play and that ball gets behind, boy, you're going to have a carousel of running. This ball in on the hands, ball's going to be dumped down, and all of a sudden, UNC has bases loaded and is threatening with no outs.
And Jay Johnson's making a move already. The margins are razor thin. It's win or go home for both these teams tonight in Chapel Hill. So enter Javen Coleman. We knew we would see lefties for LSU. Jay Johnson likes those matchups. And 11 pitches into this ball game. Sam Dutton exits. Javen Coleman enters. North Carolina's threatening and wants first blood. As we said, to the redshirt junior left-hander from Richmond, Texas, Javen Coleman, who did get drafted by the Dodgers last summer in the 16th round, but stuck around in Baton Rouge. Pitched one time in the SEC tournament 2 Saturdays ago for 2 1/3. Otherwise, hadn't pitched before that in 3.5 weeks.
The thing with Coleman is that he can actually give you some length. It's a fastball, slider, changeup mix. Fastball is going to be anywhere between 90, 93 miles an hour. He'll stick in that 91 range.
He gets the cleanup man, Anthony D'Onofrio, for North Carolina. 6th-year senior who's had a heck of a regional with the bat. Originally from Long Island. He's now at his 4th school, and he's 8 for 13 in this regional and 17 for his last 31. Two 2-0 with the bases loaded.
Now bringing in Coleman here, what you would hope if you're Jay Johnson is that he can give you multiple innings. He is a guy who has thrown 4 innings before. He has thrown 77 pitches. But lately he's been given about 2 innings, throwing in that 20 to 30 range.
It's 2-0. He's down 3-0. Heart rates spike in the LSU dugout. Anticipation builds in Carolina blue.
And you're taking here with D'Onofrio.
He is, and North Carolina leads. North Carolina, the road team in this atmosphere, and look who's already coming right back out to the mound. 15 pitches, 4 batters, and 0 outs into this ball game. And now Nate Ackenhausen, the trusty lefty who started the first game for LSU yesterday, through 27 pitches, he's already right back up.
This is definitely not how Jay Johnson wanted this game to start. He wanted Dutton to be able to at least get him a couple of innings. That didn't happen. UNC, their bats have come out firing. 3 hits in a row. Then you bring in Coleman. You're hoping, hey, okay, you know that it's probably likely he's going to give up a run or 2, but you want him to go out there and attack that zone. 4 straight balls. This crowd is going to get on their feet. They're going to be loud. Emotions are running high. You have to be able to control yourself as a pitcher.
Meantime, North Carolina looks for more. Here's Alberto Osuna, 5th-year senior DH who had his best season this year. First pitch swinging, rolls it at Michael Braswell. The flip, Stephen Milam's turn for 2. Cook scores, it's 2-0, but Javen Coleman will take that. You okay with first pitch swinging there?
No. Definitely not okay with first pitch swinging. You just had to see what just finished transpiring right before. 4 straight balls. You do not want to let LSU off the hook in that situation. You have to let the pitcher throw.
The 4 umpires will come together here and discuss after what was called on the field a 6-4-3 double play. Two days ago between these teams, we did have a controversial double play where the umpires enacted the force play slide rule. And they are going to video review here. We wonder if that's what they're calling here. Let's see what we can pick up on this double play ball.
I don't see.
Foot on the back, on the back end at first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything here. Nothing there.
The base runner there.
I mean, slide early, right at the base.
arm up.
I mean,
is that?
But I mean, it's a double play anyway. I don't see anything that tells me something was wrong there. No.
I mean, they got the double play anyway.
They got the double play. So I don't understand what the interference would be.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, 6-4-3.
Just like we thought. And a run in. And it's 2-0 North Carolina. Javen Coleman's got 2 outs, and now he gets the stud freshman catcher for the Tar Heels, Luke Stevenson. First pitch swinging in the air to right. So North Carolina gets 2, but on 2 pitches, innings over. They've got the lead, trying to punch a ticket to Supers. 4 innings, 65 pitches, and they go back to him, and he's got a huge upside and gets another crack at this.
Possible first rounder, you would think, with what he has and how he's been pitching a couple years from now. And then he's been there, done that. He's already pitched in a regional game. That's going to really help him out.
Talked to Scott Forbes today. He said he's an opener, but you never know how long Scott Forbes will send him out against Jay Johnson's lineup, which he tinkered with yesterday, and now has one of the most recognizable names in all of college baseball at the top. Tommy White, Tommy Tanks, 75 career home runs. Your leadoff man against DeCaro. 94 and away we go, and you said it. It is first round upside 2 years from now from Jason DeCaro.
Well, for DeCaro, I wanted to see what that fastball was going to look like. Well, he just showed me 94 miles an hour still.
We talked to Scott Forbes. He said he's an opener. We said, all right, well, what about best case scenario? He said it's 3 innings. And then he said, well, maybe it's 4. Really, the best case is 5. I think they're hoping for 3, one time through the order.
I think they're hoping for 3, but if he's able to get quick outs and he's able to throw the ball like this, that's one of the things that Scott Forbes is going to look at. Where is that velocity? And how is he looking on the mound? Is he comfortable getting quick outs? If that's the case, he's going to let him pitch.
His 1-2 to Tommy White is yanked up and away. And they've mapped out which arms will follow Jason DeCaro today. And it's the horses, as Scott Forbes called them last night after the loss to LSU 8-4. 2-2. Just misses, and DeCaro was certain he had strike 3.
Yeah, that one just a little bit off the plate. Listen, with DeCaro on the mound, this is what you're going to get. He knows how to pitch. He had just finished getting this pitch called, one of the first pitches of the game, so he's going to go right back to it. He's going to attack that low outside part of the zone.
A deep breath for the rookie, and the 18-year-old's 3-2. Fouled away. We had an interesting conversation with UNC pitching coach Bryant Gaines down on the field, and you put this on the scouting report. Bryant Gaines said I feel better about Jason DeCaro today going into it than I did going into Friday. Because of what you said, he's got the experience of this stage now.
Well, the other thing is that he was facing guys who he knew in Long Island University.
That's where he's from.
And that's where he's from. And that's one of those things where you're facing guys who you try to do a little bit too much. Put a little bit more pressure on yourself. Well, guess what? No pressure here. Just go out there and pitch.
8th pitch is line up the middle past Alex Madera. And Tommy White's got a hard-earned single for LSU down 2 in the first.
Does Tommy White not hit everything just hard? It seems like everything comes off his bat at 105, 106 miles an hour. We saw it in yesterday's game. He just gets up there, even with 2 strikes. He has that spread out. He has that leg open. But he knows that he can still make hard contact, barrel to baseball.
You are human trackman. That was 105 off Tommy White's bat to get aboard for the Fighting Tigers against DeCaro. Well, now here's the freshman second baseman who yesterday moved up to the 2 spot from New Mexico, Steven, nickname Monster, last name Milam. Walk-off shot Friday in LSU's first game in this regional. Walk-off The weekend before that in the SEC tournament in Hoover, Alabama against South Carolina. Yesterday, 5 hits in 2 games. Breaking ball misses. A ball and a strike on Monster Milam, who Jay Johnson said to us this weekend, the last 3 or 4 weeks, Milam has been our best player.
Oh, really, he's just continued it. 7 for 18 in this regional.
Had a 2-run single yesterday against Carolina. Wait a minute, miss. How about the changeup from Jason DeCaro?
Well, when I start to look at DeCaro's numbers, there's 3 pitches that are going to give him the ground ball, which is what he's looking for here. The slider, the curveball, and the changeup, and he can use those interchangeably.
Jason told us the changeup has really taken a step forward this year. Showed it there. 1-2. Milam strikes out. Doubled up on it.
Boy, that's a good pitch. And that's why we talk about with DeCaro. First round pick in a couple years here because of what he's able to do with these pitches. That's a big league changeup from an 18-year-old. You have to remember he was 17 years old starting this season. He didn't turn 18 until a couple weeks ago. It's unbelievable.
It really is for Jason DeCaro, dispatching another one of the best rookies in the country, and Stephen Milam. So 1 out, 1 on for the Tigers, and this is the hulking sophomore first baseman Jared Jones. It's stopped by Luke Stevenson. How about Jared Jones, team leader in OPS and home runs? By the way, he's got 27 of those. In this regional, he's 6 for 11. A home run to tie the game Friday against Wofford. 7 walks as well.
You could have told me 19, I would have believed you.
Walks?
Yeah, it just seems like every time he goes up there, he's just getting walked.
Pops it foul.
Just powerful. And when you see him in person, he's even bigger than what he looks like on TV.
Listed at 253 pounds. Jay Johnson told us the at-bats have been phenomenal. He has slowed down. He's been under control. The 1-1. Backup breaking ball lands.
I'll tell you this, though. You look at what DeCaro did after he threw that pitch. Kind of looking down like, boy, I got away with one there. See if he elevates the heater here. He could go back down to that slider down and away.
It's a 1-2 to Jones. Instead of fastball yanked. 2-2 on Jones.
That's one of the things that I think DeCaro will start to learn. And it's kind of moving that ball up and down, north and south. You want to elevate that pitch, especially when you're throwing those breaking balls.
Two. Up and in. And did it hit Jones? He says yes, and he has convinced Kellen Levi behind the plate. So 2 on for LSU with 1 out, down 2 in the first. Something you can challenge if you wanted to.
It's a fastball. Yep, absolutely. And Levi, the umpire, he did come out and say, yep, I heard it. Go down to first. Very good call.
Yep. Good job by Kellen Levi behind the plate. All right, so some early traffic against the 18-year-old Jason DeCaro. And here's the LSU cleanup man, Josh Pearson. Yesterday, 2 doubles and 2 2-run homers in the 2 games. Breaking ball for a strike.
Oh, boy. Talk about being hot. Ooh. Oh, my good scorching. Yesterday's game basically just took over both those games himself.
Jay Johnson says the numbers not normal for an LSU cleanup man, but there's something about Josh Pearson, the junior from in-state. And Josh said yesterday, after the 2 games, he said we're always in the fight. He said we've been playing blackjack a bit back at the hotel. He says I've been down to 1 chip at the hotel. I've made my way back.
All you need is a chip and a chance.
You don't need to look too hard to find the parallels to the team. 2 on, 1 out for him. 20th pitch of Jason DeCaro's first inning on the way. Caroms away from Stevenson. Tommy White and Jared Jones move up, and now 2 in scoring position. Takes away the double play ball.
I think that ball hit Stevenson right in the right hand.
Yes.
Right when he went to go block, and you can just see the bruise already on the back side of that wrist. So you can see where he has his hands right now. This ball is just spiked straight into the dirt, and he's trying to do everything he can to turn the body. And in doing so, you turn that wrist sideways, and it hits you in that bone. Excruciating pain.
Elite freshman backstop. 1-2. Down, and he blocks that. All right, so you're over 20 pitches for DeCaro. You knew you weren't going to get a normal start from him. And again, Scott Forbes said to us, he knows exactly who he wants to use in this game. Dalton Pence, their best reliever. Matty Mateus, maybe their second best reliever. Matt Poston, and also Ben Peterson. He has lined up and mapped out the arms he plans on using behind DeCaro. Question is, when does he need to make that move? 2-2. Full count on Josh Pearson.
And that's the problem, that when you're looking at it right now, the last thing that Scott Forbes wants to do is have this game kind of get away here early for DeCaro. He wanted DeCaro to at least go 3. Best case scenario, 5. But at least give you 3 innings one time through the lineup to be able to get to those arms that we just mentioned.
Coming back on 2 days rest after 4 innings, 65 pitches. Friday. 2 on, 3-2. Pearson on the ground, right side at Alex Madera. Only plays the first. 2 down. Tommy White scores, and LSU's on the board. And it's a 1-run game in the first.
Well, that's exactly what you wanted to do if you're LSU. Just kind of at least answer back. If you were able to get 1, well, that is good. If you're able to get 2 and tie this ball game up, even better.
So now there's 2 down for Jason DeCaro. And it brings up the South Carolina transfer, the shortstop in the 5 spot for LSU, Michael Braswell, who would help this team surge down the stretch in the leadoff spot. Fastball called a strike at 94. All right, so this is what it has looked like in regionals. Pitchers used, pitches thrown. Sprague a starter, Houck the starter yesterday. They bring back DeCaro. Pence, they've said, is good to go. Mateus, Peterson, they want to go to those guys. 0-2. Matt Poston is expected to be part of the plans today as well, so it shapes up pretty darn well for the Tar Heels.
I mean, it's what they want, but they're still going to have to get length out of DeCaro, and that's going to be the big one.
He's trying to get out of the first. His 0-2. Braswell lifts it to center. Advance Honeycutt. And Jason DeCaro does get out of the first. LSU gets 1. Carolina's lead is 1. After 1. Strap in, folks.
This is it.
Huge crowds all weekend here at the Bosch. Gavin Gallagher leads off. First pitch swinging against David Coleman. And that one reaches the well-populated seats. We said it earlier about this stadium and the scene here all weekend that we heard at 7:30 a.m. this morning outside the ticket office. There were folks in lawn chairs only hoping for standing room only tickets.
Just standing room, not even seats. We just want to get in there and watch this game. We don't care where we are. We'll be standing up. Don't worry about it. We're good.
That is not the baseball stadium.
Nope.
That is the field hockey stadium.
I can be talking about that. I got in trouble on Twitter.
You have learned all about field hockey ever since. Coleman blows 95 past Gavin Gallagher, Friday's hero, with a walk-off grand slam for the first out in the second.
And all of a sudden, Coleman seems like now he has found that zone. Not only that, he's getting a little bit more comfortable being able to throw the breaking ball. And then there we just saw 95 miles an hour on that heater.
Coleman now faces the D3 transfer, the 23-year-old Alex Madera, originally from New Jersey. He's a very good bunter, and he can run well, facing Coleman. Madera's out of Arcadia University in Pennsylvania, where he was a D3 All-American. High on-base guy in this lineup for Scott Forbes. 2-0 from Coleman. Javen Coleman is a big recruit showed up in Baton Rouge, logged over 30 innings as a freshman. Sophomore early on in the season, sidelined with an arm injury, and had Tommy John. That was 2 years ago. Last year, 14 innings. Didn't come back and debut that season until mid-April. And this year, we showed you about 25 innings coming into tonight on in relief. A deep breath, the 3-0. That misses. So it's a 4-pitch walk to the 8-man in the Carolina lineup, Alex Madera. You're going to see a lot of shots of that area of this ballpark, the LSU bullpen. That's one of the leaders on this team, Will Helmers, a shorter burst right-hander.
We're going to be seeing, I think, both bullpens be working tonight. I mean, this is what this game means. It means so much. And you cannot just risk a guy going out there and walking guys. And really, your pitchers have been throwing a lot.
This one hits Colby Wilkerson. So quick strikeout. Coleman looked great, but then walk, hit batter in 5 pitches, and just like that, 2 North Carolina base runners. And he turned the lineup back to the top for Vance Honeycutt.
And if you're Jay Johnson, this is not the guy that you want up there right now. The superstar for UNC, Vance Honeycutt.
Our baseball insider Kylie McDaniels got Vance 26th on his MLB draft rankings. And it looks like he might see, yes, he will see, Will Helmers. There have been 7 outs in this game, and we will already see our 4th pitcher in this game. It will be an act of attrition tonight in Chapel Hill. North Carolina's got the lead, 2-1. Winner goes to the Super Regional in this Game 7 in North Carolina.
For Helmers, basically you're going to see a fastball slider combo mix. Got a good fastball too, averaging about 92 miles an hour. But that's the tough part, where he's thrown from that low 3/4. It's going to sink into righties, and then that slider is going to really break away from the righty. Tough angle to hit.
And that's a changed arm angle in Will Helmers' career that has put him on the roster. Wasn't always on with a secure spot. It's a really great story of a guy we told you is a senior leader. Fires up the troops at all times in the dugout, but now is a real leverage arm out of their bullpen. And he's ahead of Vance Honeycutt, 0-2, with 2 on for North Carolina and 1 out in the 2nd. That is strike 3 called. 3 heaters, and Honeycutt goes down by way of the K, and there's 2 gone.
And that's the thing, tough angles. From that angle, he was going in, and then he goes back door with that sinker.
So 2 gone, 2 still aboard for North Carolina's 2-hitter. The first team all ACC outfielder, Casey Cook, has had a breakthrough season. Perhaps their best pure hitter.
Easier angle for a lefty. And that's where you see that slider coming in play for Helmers. That fastball, you're going to see it a little bit better from that left side than you are a righty. A righty, it feels like it's coming from behind you.
Extreme splits for Helmers, like you would have thought. Right-handed hitters have an OPS below 500. Normal OPS, frame of reference, is like 750, the national average in college baseball. But then, against lefties, it's a 1,000 OPS for him. 3-0 on Cook.
And these are the situations, too, because when you look at who's on deck, you got Parks Harbor, a righty. Be very careful here with Cook. Even if you're going to go load the bases, sometimes that's not the worst-case scenario.
4-pitch walk. Loaded up with 2 walks and a hit batter for North Carolina, looking to add on. And can North Carolina change the tune from last night where they stranded a dozen like we said, and can they come through with the big hit early tonight?
That's going to be the question. Can they do it? Can they get that big hit when it's needed? I believe it was twice that they had bases loaded in yesterday's ball game.
Well, Nate Ackenhausen again is getting ready for LSU. And a Tigers pitching staff that the flip side of that for North Carolina is really good pitching, trying to prevent the rally hippo for North Carolina and some big strikeouts. Thatcher Hurd, who was the starter in a must-win game, and then guys out of the pen for the Tigers too.
In big-time situations, having big-time pitches. Right there, Vance Honeycutt, big, long AB fastballs up in the zone. 3-2, gets the breaking ball. Strikes out looking. It's one of those things that happened when LSU needed it yesterday. When they needed that big pitch, they were able to get it.
Jay Johnson told us pregame, those are the ones you'll remember for a long time. Days like yesterday. Loaded up 2 outs. Parks Harbor went first pitch swinging against Will Helmers again. Righty-righty. Helmers has been nasty, but Harbor, one of the top bats in the ACC this season. Second team all conference. Second on the team in OPS. Harbor pulls it left field. Pearson backs up on the track to make the catch. Inning over. Helmers dances around danger. Still a 1-run game. Always a great way to consume this wonderful weekend of college baseball. To the bottom of the second, and Brady Neal, Tigers catcher, back into the starting lineup the last 2 games. Leads off against Jason DeCaro, who threw 27 pitches in the first. Changeup.
Big thing for DeCaro right now is seeing if he can get right back into that zone. The problem that he was having in that first inning, what I saw is just getting the put-away pitches. He was able to get ahead, but then he really wasn't able to have that put-away pitch. You saw the Tommy White fouling off a bunch of pitches, finally getting the base hit, and then just long ABs.
You've watched a lot of them in your career. What do you think his best put-away is?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to kind of look at that and say which one it is. For me, it's a slider.
On the ground is second. Alex Madera retires Brady Neal. NCAA Super Regional coverage begins Friday. Boy, that's great to say. Across ESPN, here on ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more info, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. And don't change your dial the rest of the night. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central here on ESPN2. Oklahoma, a top 10 national seed, against UConn. Jim Pender's outstanding program in the Northeast. This is Hayden Travinski, 5th-year senior DH, who homered last night to announce himself in this regional.
Yeah, he had been struggling too. Finally gets the base hit, and then, boy, he absolutely hammered that home run in the 5th inning.
It was 108 off the bat. And there was some energy from the LSU team yesterday. The North Carolina dugout certainly sensed that. Scott Forbes wants his group very focused on themselves tonight and on the hands.
The thing with DeCaro, he does have a really good curveball. You asked about the put-away pitch. The curveball, 22 strikeouts. The fastball, 34 strikeouts. For me, though, he needs to be able to utilize that slider, something that's going away from the right-handed hitters.
Well, you can set up a good slider down and away with a pitch like that.
And that's the case. With the curveball, it is good, 12-6. But for me, if you're going up and in like he is, and then you're able to get that slider and throw it right off that outside corner and let it just kind of work for you, it's going to be a big pitch.
2-2. Jason DeCaro told us that the curveball is the pitch he's thrown for the longest in terms of his 2 breaking balls. Says he's really comfortable with it. If he has to get a strike, he can just flip one over. Same grip on it he's had since he was 11. Says just a little harder now. Probably a lot harder now.
Well, I'll tell you this. Travinski here, he's ready on the fastball after he gets that one up and hit and just pulls it.
Let's go breaking ball. Yeah, slider. Strike 3 called. Travinski doesn't like it. He is DeCaro's second K, and there's 2 gone in the second.
Now again, we have been seeing that pitch be called on both teams. We saw Vance Honeycutt. He got a fastball out there. He didn't like it either. This one, that slider. Travinsky got that fastball up and in. He was able to turn on it. DeCaro said, no more. I'm going slider down and away.
So there you go. You got your slider from Jason DeCaro. First pitch swinging. Jake Brown launches toward right center field and gone. We are tied at 2. High upside freshman was the #1 recruit in the state of Louisiana. He goes 408 to tie it in the second.
Freshman versus freshman, and Jake Brown absolutely hammers this fastball down and in. The nitro zone for a lefty. 408 feet, no doubter off the bat.
Home plate umpire Kellen Levi just came over and told the LSU dugout about how far they can come out after home runs like that. Yeah, doesn't sound like the LSU dugout particularly loved the messaging there, as you would expect. They're competitors. Another freshman, Ashton Larson, in the 9th spot, the right fielder for Jay Johnson's group out of Kansas, SEC all-freshman team. Top 80 recruit in the country according to Perfect Game. Got drafted by the Twins. 2-0 against DeCaro.
And this is going to be what DeCaro, see what he can do. Gave up the home run. How are you able to settle back in?
End of the battle roller to second, and Madera ends the inning. 1 time through the order for Jason DeCaro. And through 2, we're tied at 2. Winner take all. We also had Oregon State resume a game against UC Irvine. And Travis Bazzana and Oregon State are moving on to next weekend. It's going to be a loaded field in Supers. Will Will Helmers in LSU or North Carolina join the rest of them? Anthony D'Onofrio pulls one foul. Leading off the 3rd, UNC's second time through. 4, 5, and 6, beginning with D'Onofrio. Anthony D'Onofrio's had quite the journey. Started his career at D3 SUNY Cortland for 2 years. Transferred to Stony Brook, but didn't play baseball because he was told he wasn't good enough for the team. Then Quinnipiac, and now this 1 year here at UNC. He's been huge for them this weekend.
Said he got that email and put it up on the locker, something that he could take a look at.
On his bedroom door?
On his bedroom door. To take a look at it every single day. Makes you work that little bit harder.
Great story on Inside Carolina. Line drive center field. 9 hits for Anthony D'Onofrio, who had a bases loaded walk his first time. He's aboard to begin the 3rd. ESPN's the home for NCAA college baseball action, and for around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scan the QR code in the bottom left of your screen. ESPN Plus subscribers get expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. Squeeze Play will be revved up next weekend for Supers. Here's Alberto Osuna. Went up aggressively his first time, and on the first pitch, rolled into a 6-4-3 double play that stood without interference. And now Osuna again. A cut through 92 from Will Helmers. Two years ago, 20 big flies for Alberto Osuna. Drives this one in the air to center at Jake Brown. 1 down. Felt like a mad scramble out of the gates with all the pitching changes, trying to decipher pitching plans. We'll see if these teams settle in now a bit.
Well, I'm just looking at that UNC bullpen. Guys are moving, guys are throwing. Kind of what we talked about with DeCaro. How long was he going to go? Was he going to be one time through the lineup?
Might be that, because that's Matthew Mateus.
Yep.
One of the nation's leaders in wins. If that's your cup of tea statistically. Luke Stevenson flew out to right field his first time. He'll be draft eligible as a sophomore next year, and Scott Forbes thinks he could be a first rounder. 1-1 from Helmers. Stevenson from Wake Forest, North Carolina, was third team All-ACC. Here in the regional, 2 for 10, entering tonight with 4 walks. One and 2. Stevenson thought it was south of the knees. Gotta love postseason baseball because our care level about a strike zone goes up.
Goes up
like 100%.
I mean, exponentially. You have this same game 2 months ago. No one's saying much.
Yeah, it's a strike.
Like, hey, it's a strike. All right, let's go play on. This game right now, what it means, if you win, you move on to supers. If you lose, that's it. Season's over. Care just a little bit more.
Yes. 2 heavyweight programs. Number 4 national seed against the reigning champs. Good back foot breaking ball from Will Helmers against Stevenson to punch him out for out number 2.
Boy, this one had a lot of action to it. Really good slider. Starts right on that inside corner. Breaks down and in. Back footing Stevenson. He knows it. This is big here for Helmers. If he's able to get out of this inning, who knows? He can give you length. You're always looking for that one pitcher to give you more length than you've expected.
Gavin Gallagher hits one on a hop to short. Braswell to second, and Milam hung onto the bag. Inning over. It's a 0 posted by Will Helmers in his second frame of work. In Chapel Hill, walks. And been one of the key arms in the pen, which is a very good one for Bryant Gaines and Scott Forbes. All right, second time through the LSU lineup. This is Tommy White. Singled and scored in the first. He's got all singles in the regional. Snapped in for strike 1.
That's just a hard curveball, too, that he's able to throw. Really sharp break on it.
Tommy White, 17th on Kylie McDaniel's draft rankings. Second team All-SEC. Nothing at 2.
Yeah, well, you start to look at Tommy White. He understands that the umpire is giving about a ball off the plate away. So he's going to go ahead and start to attack that pitch. That one, just a tick underneath, fouls it straight back.
You love his ability to go the other way.
One of the best that I've seen in college baseball.
0-2. White reaches out and he flicks one up the middle. That's the second baseman, Alex Matera, for the first out. All right, so for North Carolina, in terms of the pitching, this is sort of gone according to plan. You get 2 out of DeCaro, and you feel like you got your horses lined up in the pen.
With Mateus, he's able to go 2 innings, 2 1/3, 2 2/3. That's basically the most that he's gone this season. But again, in these type of situations, if he's getting quick outs, he's able to keep that pitch count down. The most he's thrown this year, 46 pitches. If he's able to stay, 50 pitches. If he's able to stay right in that range, I think you let him pitch.
Another good-looking curveball. This to Stephen Milam. Monster Milam struck out on a changeup his first time. Sawed-off foul. If you've somehow missed it this weekend with Stephen Milam, he has tiger stripes hair underneath that purple helmet. It was blonde the week prior at the SEC tournament. So he enlisted his teammate Jake Brown, who's homered in this game. Jake's girlfriend Sydney, who went to work for 2 hours on it. They added in the purple, and it's fitting for the LSU Tiger that he's got the stripes on the dome.
I don't know what to do for 2 hours while someone's doing my hair.
Scroll, talk, swing and a miss. 94 up the ladder from the Vulture. 2 gone.
And you get that big 12-6 break on the breaking ball, and then you're able to go up the ladder with 94 miles an hour. Boy, that makes it tough. You look at both these pitchers, Will Helmers, if he's able to continue throwing, you look at Matthew Mateus, if he's able to go longer than what is expected, the only way to really do that, though, is by keeping that pitch count down. To keep that pitch count down, getting quick, soft contact early.
Base is empty for the 3-hitter Jared Jones. First pitch swinging, struck well, center field, Honey cuts back, and that ball's gone. LSU's got the lead, courtesy of Jared Jones.
Jared Jones, my goodness, just showing off the power. 103 miles an hour off the bat. That is a strong human being hitting a baseball a long way.
Entering Saturday night, Jared Jones had homered in 5 straight games. He's got 28 home runs now this season, among the leaders in the entire country. And the Tigers have the lead in the 3rd. Boy, the offense was so good for LSU yesterday across 2 elimination games. 13 runs in the first one against Wofford, and then 8 in the second against these Tar Heels. Josh Pearson had a run-scoring ground out the second his first time. 1-1 from Mateus. Pearson on the ground, sharply past Harbor. It's a fair ball. Josh Pearson continues to hit over the last 2 days. 2-out double.
We've talked about how Pearson has been hitting the baseball, and boy, he just stays hot. Fastball 93 miles an hour. Rips it down that first base line. Harbor dives, try to make the play, out of reach, and all of a sudden Pearson's in scoring position for LSU.
How about the 2-out RBIs that LSU's had over the last few games now? They've added to it already.
And that's, I mean, you look at the difference. First 2 games, and we talked about, you know, the offense just wasn't there early in this tournament, in this regional, and all of a sudden it has just absolutely exploded. It was that type of offense that we were expecting.
Ken, if you weren't with us off the top, Jay Johnson and LSU in the NCAA tournament going back to last year when they were the national champions, they've won 6 straight elimination games. Said to his team after they lost to North Carolina Saturday night that the next day, yesterday, would be their best day of baseball of the season. And they look pretty good, all things considered, especially without the services of their top 2 starting pitchers. We'll be a little happier when we chat with them. So Pearson's on. Brian Gaines paid a visit to Matty Mateus, and now Michael Braswell, 5-hole shortstop who flew to center his first time. Saw Mateus for 38 pitches a couple of days ago across 2 scoreless innings. Off the edge. So he's got that cutter. We've seen the power curve and the fastball. If you look at the metrics, it's got a ton of induced vertical break, which means what to you as a hitter?
Well, that ball's going to just stay really on plane. Almost looks like the ball's going to rise on you. So when you go to swing, usually gravity will take that ball down and guys swing will be able to hit it. This time that ball will stay on plane, and that's where you'll see a lot of guys just swinging right underneath it, especially when he's in the top of the zone. When he stays down in the zone, it's going to look like that ball is going to be a ball right out of the hand, and usually that ball will just stay right at that knee. So you really have to think almost like you're chopping down a tree with your swing.
LSU by a run, 2 outs, man at second. 2-1 to Braswell. Comes inside and hits him. Second hit batter by North Carolina pitching. Mateus came on in this third, has gone ground out, strikeout, home run, double hit batter. Now there's 2 on for Brady Neal, and Luke Stevenson steps out from behind home plate, and we'll soak a little time here. Again, the big arms in the pen, lined up all day, and that includes one of the best relievers in not just the ACC but in the country, Dalton Pence, who has already pitched twice here this weekend in the regionals. 32 pitches his first time, 27 his second time on Saturday, but Scott Forbes loved that they didn't have to use him yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain situations where when you are in the winner's bracket and you start to look at yesterday's game, the way that it was going, you kind of are able to hide certain guys. Hey, we don't want to use them right now. Now, if all of a sudden you tie up the game, it makes it a little bit different. But until you get to that point, you're able to kind of just hide guys away and say, hey, we're going to need you tomorrow to be able to throw multiple innings, not just one.
For now, it's Matty Mateus against Brady Neal, the catcher in the 6th spot, who grounded to second his first time. Breaking ball for a strike against Neal, who yesterday in the first game came off the bench, went 2 for 3 with a walk. Started the second, went 1 for 4. Jay Johnson said he took great at-bats all day. A guy who was a starter here each of his 2 years until injuries. No Alex Milazzo in the lineup at the outset for Jay Johnson. Keys to the catching car belong to Brady Neal. Mateus is 1-1. Neal pulls it on the ground at second, and Alex Madera ends the inning. But Jared Jones, all 253 pounds of him, has the Tigers on top. Been a very hot finish since. They've won 21 of 28. They've got the lead here as the 2 seed in this regional. Again, 4 teams in each regional trying to move on to supers. 8-9-1 for North Carolina. Alex Madera walked his first time. Veteran second baseman. Still seeing Helmers, who 25 pitches, he's gotten them 5 outs since he came on in the second.
And that's what, you know, when you look at and talk with Jay Johnson, you're always kind of looking at, hey, somebody needs to step up. Who's going to be that guy? And if you're all of a sudden you're throwing strikes, you're able to get those quick outs, you're going to continue to throw, because if you're getting those outs and you're being effective, you're just going to really help out that bullpen.
Will Helmers is the guy who is caffeine right into the bloodstream in the dugout. He is the one who gives the pregame speeches before games. He admits he's taken it to a new level. He'll pull from movie speeches, different dialogue, famous ones, otherwise. Bouncing ball towards second. Monster Milam throws out Madera. What a win. And so Will Helmers has thrown 2 innings, and a guy again who pitched his way onto the roster, changed his arm angle, has had success, and now he's in leverage spots in a winner take all. North Carolina is down a run, 4th inning, long way to go. And here's Colby Wilkerson. Senior shortstop, glove first. In-state kid from less than an hour away. He's Scott Forbes says a lot of people didn't think Colby Wilkerson would play here, much less shortstop. Colby used it as a chip on his shoulder. Scott Forbes estimates Wilkerson was a $150 poundage when he arrived. He's down 0-2. Swing and a miss. Will Helmers is doing it against lefties too.
Helmers again, just going right back to that slider. Boy, it's a good one. Good break on it, down in the zone. A lot of action. Wilkerson, big swing, can't come up with it.
So 3 strikeouts for Will Helmers. Back to the top, he gets his second look at Vance Honeycutt. He came in to get Honeycutt the first time, punched him out looking on a fastball, and he goes heater to start again. Vicious in these right-on-right situations.
Just looking at Helmer's numbers, longest he's gone is 2 innings. Most pitches he's thrown has been 31. So if he's able to give more length, fastball velocity is still there. 93 miles an hour. You're going to let him ride.
That's down 1-2 on Vance Honeycutt. So already more innings and more pitches than at any point this season for the senior in-state kid from Louisiana. Honeycutt is singled and that punch out. The 1-2. In the air, shallow toward right. That's trouble. Larson looking for it, finds it. And the inning's over. Will Helmers has stepped up for LSU. We're in the 4th. 3-2 Tigers. Some of the names. LSU up by 1 on North Carolina. Hayden Travinski against Matty Mateus. What's jumped out to you? Big picture nationally so far this weekend.
I mean, one, I've seen a lot of SEC and ACC schools who have punched their ticket to supers. And then here, you're going to have another either ACC or SEC team make it. I mean, for me, it's just been a lot of good, fun baseball.
You're going to have heavyweight star power as well in the Super Regionals on the road to Omaha. 1-1 to Hayden Travinski. Right center field. Anthony D'Onofrio for the first down. Charlie Condon is the best prospect, according to Kylie McDaniel. Georgia's superstars had an outstanding season. He's in with the Dogs. Travis Bazzana, number 2 prospect. He's in with Oregon State. Texas A&M transfer Braden Montgomery is your number 3. Jack Caglione, 2-way star. Jack Tani, as he's known at Florida. He's number 5. So think about that. You got 4 of the top 5 prospects in baseball be playing next weekend. Here's Jake Brown. Homered his first time.
Oh, Jack Caglione for a long part of this season was the number 1 guy being that 2-way lefty throwing 98, 99 miles an hour. And then you saw that home run he hit. He said it measured at like 198 miles an hour.
He smashed it. Jake Brown will roller at second and Alex Madera to go. And whoever wins this one will get West Virginia. They've got the number 10 prospect, J.J. Weatherholt, on Kylie's draft rankings. Healthy, though with a hamstring injury for a lot of this year. There's going to be a ton of big names, big-time prospects that will eventually be off to Major League Baseball in a time frame that feels like it's getting shorter a little bit. 2 outs, bases empty. Ashton Larson grounded to second his first time, and the freshman takes down. You love when guys go to college baseball.
I do.
When they have the choice coming out of high school.
I do. I mean, it's either you develop in the minor league system or you develop in the college system. And for me, you learn how to become a man in that college system. And I've seen it, you know, playing with guys who came out of high school, playing guys who came out of college. You could see the difference between both guys. And for me, the guys who came out of college were more prepared for that situation. Not saying that it happens all the time. You get some high school guys who are prepared and they can do it. But a lot of times, those high school guys know what they're doing. They're focused and they're ready to just, that's your job.
Well, Ashton Larson's a good example. He told you drafted in the summer, but enrolled in Baton Rouge. 2-1. Fouled away. 2-2 from Matty Mateus, looking for a 1-2-3 fourth inning.
And the thing is, too, it's not just about the baseball. It's about the everyday life. Learning how to cook, learning how to clean your own clothes, learning how to live without mom and pops by your side. I mean, that makes a big difference. And when you're 18, all of a sudden you get drafted, deer in headlights come out.
You're a very good cook, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. 2-2. On the ground right side again. Alex Madera with a ball quickly recovered. And does make it a 1-2-3 on just 10 pitches for Matty Mateus. Here we go, fifth inning, one-run game. Tigers on top of the Tar Heels. Behind the scenes. 2, 3, and 4 for the Tar Heels, starting with Casey Cook against Will Helmers, who's given LSU a major lift. Now, this is a guy with starting experience in his past for the Tigers. It is his longest outing this year. Went as long as 3 2/3 last year on the ground foul. Cook with a pull side single and a walk so far in the first and second innings. If you're flipping around just joining us, the winner of this one moves on to the Super Regionals. North Carolina got 2 in the top of the first. The last 3 to LSU, 1 and 2.
And one of the things that I've seen out of Helmers so far is just getting ahead so quick. It seems like every single batter, strike 1, strike 2.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 1 gone.
It's just been so good, just attacking the zone. And here, instead of going with that slider that we've been seeing, that back foot slider, here it's that changeup. Cook just a little bit out in front, tried to stay back on it, couldn't make contact.
He said this during the SEC tournament. You never know when your number is going to get called. You have to be ready. Got to stay ready, not get ready. He was ready for this clearly tonight.
He was ready. And Jay Johnson, I guarantee you, is up on that step, just kind of watching, making sure that he just continues doing what he's doing. He is going to be walking around, and there he is. It's that thought process of, do I let him continue to go?
Parks Harbor bounces it at Michael Braswell. 2 more outs here in the 5th for Will Helmers.
And it's one of those situations where, as a coach, it's a good thing. Because you're looking at it, okay, how far am I letting him go? Okay, now he has 2 outs. Now all of a sudden he might have bought himself another batter. You start to point. Maybe if he gets to this person in that batting lineup.
Scott Forbes joins us coming up next. That's the way it's gone for Will Helmers. 41 pitches now, 2 outs, 5th inning. Protecting a 1-run LSU lead. Anthony D'Onofrio has walked and singled. Backdoor breaking ball for a land strike. I mean, I think the most impressive part is the success he's had against the lefties. You mentioned, was he going to be able to do it against them too?
And early on in this game, when he first came out, that's who he was struggling against.
Roller right side. It's Stephen Milo. 1, 2, 3 for Will Helmers. Halfway through, and it's the Tigers by 1. Thanks to Will Helmers.
It has just been packed. The energy has been wonderful.
Tommy White leads off for LSU against Matty Mateus. By the way, we had a phenomenal meal today. Big thank you to Dan Jackson and the folks at Osteria, Georgie. That was as good an Italian meal as I've had in a while.
It was dangerous, actually.
We took a nap almost in the car when we pulled into the stadium today. White smashes one on the ground to third, and Gavin Gallagher with a long throw. Harbor picks. Wow! Hey now.
I'll tell you this, Tommy White is going to have nightmares of Gavin Gallagher because he just continues to take away hits. This is not an easy play. High hopper, the way that he goes and attacks this ball back, that drop step, and then showing off the arm. But how about the stretch by Parks Harbor at first base, getting on that inside part of the running lane, still making the play. Mateus, don't only point at Gallagher, point to Harbor.
What a play on both ends. Ball one to Monster Milam. If you weren't with us yesterday, Tommy White grounded out to Gavin Gallagher twice last night at 107 and 106 off the bat.
I was going to say, ground out is a little bit saying, it was just a regular ground. No, these balls were absolutely hammered.
That's a euphemism. 1-1. Speaking of very good freshmen, Stephen Milam homered from both sides of the plate. The second was that walk-off on Friday. 2 strikeouts so far today. Second one against Mateus. Manny Mateus at 30+ pitches into the bottom of the 5th. Came on to begin the 3rd. Second UNC arm tonight. His 1-2 is down. 2-2 on Monster Milam, who was given a 1-page sheet after the fall semester this year of his freshman season of what he needed to do to get better after a real tough fall. Came back and in the preseason did absolutely everything before the year started in February. On the ground sharply towards second. Alex Madera handles the hop. He's had a busy day. 2 outs. 6 in a row set down by Mateus, and 5 of them are ground ball outs.
It seems like Mateus is starting to settle in. That 3rd inning, he came in, 2 quick outs, gave up the homer, double hit by pitch, able to get out of that inning. But since then, he has just been dialed in on the mound.
Well, he gets another look at Jared Jones, who went deep off him in the 3rd inning. Jones, Oppo, and as Jay Johnson said to us earlier in this game, Jared Jones has taken it to another level here in the postseason. That's a strike. Last year, Jared Jones, a freshman All-American, also All-SEC freshman team, 14 home runs. He's now doubled it as a draft-eligible sophomore. Mateus is 0-1. Mateus is 1-1. That's a strike.
I'm looking at Jared Jones, and I take a look at the bat. It's almost like a hockey puck. They do have wooden bats that have that same kind of situation. It's almost like that counterweight on that baseball bat to make the bat feel a little bit more evened out in weight.
He grips it before a 1-2 from Mateus. Strike 3 calls. Will Helmer's on one side, Manny Mateus on the other to the 6th. He's faced 13 batters. He's through 3 2/3 of 1-hit shutout ball. Gets 5, 6, and 7, starting with Alberto Osuna, with LSU up by 1 against North Carolina. 3 2/3 was the longest last year for Helmers. 2 years ago, he worked a season-long 4 innings. His freshman year, 3 seasons ago, went as long as 5. He told you he does have some starting experience, but about 75 innings for his entire career. And 3 2/3 tonight. 2-1 on Osuna. Double play ball in the first was costly. Fly out to center a second time. 2-2 on Osuna. We'll see who gets West Virginia. Mountaineers, the 3 seed. Randy Macy's last hurrah. Congratulations to West Virginia. Came out of Tucson. 2-2 on the ground to short. And Michael Braswell to first. NCAA Super Regional coverage starts Friday across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more info, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Here's Luke Stevenson. Fly out to right, strikeout swinging. Stepped in from day one behind the plate for North Carolina, replacing a very good catcher over the last few years, Tomas Strick. Breaking ball for a strike.
And that's how they've been pitching Stevenson. We saw it last night as well. Just going after him with the breaking balls.
Good change as well. Jay Johnson says Will Helmers is a great human being and leader. Now he's turned into a great pitcher here. Sophomore year, just 11 innings. Last year, only 11 innings. Dealt with a nagging arm injury. On a day where LSU was short on pitching after winning 2 elimination games yesterday, he has stepped up. Definitely no Luke Holman. Definitely no Griffin Herring today. There was a probably no Thatcher Hurd, who was outstanding yesterday for LSU. Guy with a 7 ERA is always tantalized with his ability, stepped up. And now it's not necessarily off limits for Gage Jump, who started the first game for LSU in this regional on Friday. If anything, though, it would be 1 inning, probably at the end, for a very talented draft prospect as well. Misses.
And again, these are things that are talked about prior to today. You're going out there, you're talking with the pitching staff. Hey, who feels good? Everybody's going to say yes. Everybody's going to say, give me that ball. Then it's up to you as a coach to say, okay, yes and no to certain guys.
Check swing. Stevenson did not go. 2-2.
That's the hard part. It's kind of breaking it down and going, okay, I know that you pitched X amount of days ago. You pitched this many pitches. You don't want to go to him, but okay, last case, last resort, then I can go maybe give you 1 inning, but it's not going to even be an inning. It's going to be a number of pitches.
2-2. Stevenson pulls it. Jones swallows it. 2 down. 11 in a row set down by Will Helmers. He came on in the second, got a strikeout, then issued a walk. Since then, the only base runner is Anthony D'Onofrio, who singled up the middle to lead off the third. So Scott Forbes takes a timeout offensively with his freshman third baseman, Gavin Gallagher. They're trying to solve the riddle of Will Helmers.
Well, with Helmers, you knew you were going to get a whole bunch of ground balls. 6 of his outs come via ground balls. 4 of them on the strikeout.
Not a lot of hard contact against him.
Not a lot of hard contact at all.
Well, here's a guy who could supply hard contact in Gavin Gallagher. Local guy from Apex, North Carolina. 2 home runs Friday, plus a double. The headline, of course, was the walk-off grand slam in a thriller for UNC against the 4 seed in this regional, Long Island University. Scott Forbes said after, he's a slow heartbeat kid. You were trying to get him to smile.
He did for a second, but that was before on camera, and then he did it.
He did it in front of family too. His brother and sister drove a long way to see that wild ending on Friday. 21.
That's a good swing there by Gallagher. That's kind of where you want it to be, a little bit up in the zone. That way that ball's not going to sink as much. Kind of get him up, be able to catch him out in front.
That's a strike, 1-2. What do you do with that as a hitter?
You watch it go by and you just say, okay, I need to be able to get this pitch up in the zone. It's just a tough pitch, that backdoor sinker, especially from that angle.
That's your one warning to Will Helmers.
Yes, and you got it when you come set. You have to make sure that you're making eye contact with the hitter.
Two outs, base is empty. North Carolina down a run. 1-2. Gallagher bounces it at Tommy White. Low retribution for Tommy White against Gavin Gallagher. We're in the sixth. This has settled in. Couple of relievers stepping up. Tigers by 1. So here we go to the bottom of the sixth. One-run affair. Josh Pearson's got an RBI ground out. He's doubled as well. Cleanup man for the Tigers against Matthew Mateus. Played Pearson to pull. What a fun postseason ride just the last few days for Josh Pearson, who's had major moments as part of his time as a 3-year regular for LSU. 4 for 8 yesterday, 2 doubles, the two-run homers we said, and just 6 RBIs. Breaking ball for a land strike. Jay Johnson said to us coming into the weekend, Josh Pearson's got the it factor. Said his numbers smell a little bit, but every time we need a hit, he gets a hit. Said it's the weirdest player ever. 2-1. Pearson fouls it off. 2-2.
It's like one of those players who, whenever the stakes are high, they come through. And whenever really things, it's not like nothing really matters, but whenever there's nothing going on, don't worry about it. Big time hits.
2-2. Up the ladder. So it's a full count. Matty Mateus, like Will Helmers, has really settled into this game. He has set down 7 in a row since he hit Michael Braswell after the Pearson double, after the Jones homer in a busy third as he entered. Payoff. Pearson pops it up. Shallow center. And Vance Honeycutt takes charge. Round number 1. ESPN's the home for NCAA college baseball coverage, and for around-the-clock multi-game squeeze play action. Scan the QR code below. ESPN Plus subscribers get all of that and a whole lot more. All right, so 1 away, base is empty. Now Michael Braswell.
Now, Mateus has gone 4 innings this year. Did that against Georgia Tech. So he has had length.
And what do we know about Scott Forbes? When a pitcher is going well, he'll probably continue to trot him out there.
I mean, 50 pitches has been his max so far this year. He's at 45 right now, but you're right. If you're going out there, you're throwing strikes, and you're throwing the ball well against this team who's been swinging the bat extremely well, we're going to use you. Keep going. But, of course, you're going to look at certain things, right? You're going to look at the pitch radar. You're going to make sure that that velocity has not dipped down. You're still throwing 91, 92 miles an hour. That breaking ball is still really good. You're going to pitch.
Hot shot right at Harbor. 2 away.
And they're also looking at this, too. How are the balls coming off the bat? And, boy, you can't hit it much better than Braswell did right there on a line. Right to Harbor. Call that the atom ball, because you hit it right at him.
Parks Harbor is telling Alex Madera about that experience. 99 off the bat of Michael Braswell for merely out number 2. Now Brady Neal, a couple of rollovers to second. Strike one pumped in at 92 and still holding the velo.
Yeah.
Around 50 pitches, as you said, for Matty Mateus. Here again, the pitching landscape pregame from UNC pitching coach Brian Caines. He said, let me tell you something about Scott Forbes. If you're pitching well, you're in the game. He's not trying to trick people. Scott Forbes will let a pitcher go until he sees the velo and the stuff tick down. It hasn't for Matty Mateus. His 0-2. Up the ladder and a sword. Tit for tat. Helmers and Mateus to the 7th. LSU by 1.
I mean, just a good.
The United Football League, USFL.
Fastball up in the zone.
The full arsenal and just one hit.
It's been absolutely fantastic. And we talked about it. You're always looking in these type of situations, in these type of games, for somebody to step up and do something that you weren't expecting. Well, Matthew Mateus, Will Helmers, there you go.
8-9-1 for North Carolina against Helmers. If you weren't with us at the start, North Carolina went single, bases loaded walk to start this game. They've got one hit since. Until now. Alex Madera into right field, a base hit, and the tying run is on for the Heels. Breaks up 12 in a row, set down by the senior Helmers.
Yeah, but what we've been seeing out of Helmers the whole entire time is being able to get that ball onto the ground. Alex Madera does a really nice job of just elevating that pitch, staying on it, and driving it for a base hit.
Tommy White is well onto the grass from third against the 9-hitter Colby Wilkerson, who's been hit by a pitch and struck out. Wilkerson squares and pulls back, ball 1.
Now remember, Wilkerson, if he is going to bunt this ball, it's not going to be towards third base. You're supposed to bunt this ball to first. You want the first baseman to come in and field it. If you bunt it to third, more likely than not, it's going to be a double play, especially where Tommy White is playing.
Bunting against this arm angle and this type of sinker.
For a lefty, a little bit easier because you're able to see the ball a lot more, especially if you're bunting it to the right side. You're able to just pull it with you. For a righty, a lot more difficult.
Wilkerson, a trustworthy senior, drops it down. It is first base side, so Brady Neal takes charge for the out. Sack successful. Madera into scoring position with one away. It sets the scene for Vance Honeycutt. Perhaps the best player Scott Forbes thinks in the history of this program. He's argued he's the best player in the country. Defense, speed, power for Vance Honeycutt, hoping this isn't the end of his college career before he's a potential first rounder next month.
This is the third time that he will be facing Will Helmers.
Struck out looking, flew out to right. First pitch swinging, Tommy White gobbles. 2 down and quick work of Vance Honeycutt. Another ground ball induced by Will Helmers.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of ground balls. LSU defense has been doing a great job, but it's because Helmers too. He is throwing a lot of strikes. When you're getting quick outs, quick ground balls, your defense will stay on their toes, easier to make plays.
Senior from in-state has now pitched a career-long outing of 5 1/3, 2-hit ball. And here comes Jay Johnson, the Tigers head coach.
Helmers was shaking his head no.
Griffin Herring, one of LSU's best pitchers, pled his case in the dugout to Jay Johnson yesterday. Doors open for Nate Ackenhausen. You got a lefty hitter here in Cook, and Will Helmers will stay in this game.
He talked himself into it. As soon as Jay Johnson went out there, he was shaking his head, no, I got it. But you talked about those splits. The lefty-righty splits, there's a big difference between each one. Lefties have an OPS over 1,000.
And righties struggle so much against Helmers, around a 450 OPS. But it seems that Helmers has figured out lefties, at least so far, here tonight. He has seen Casey Cook twice, a walk and a strikeout. Man at second, first pitch swinging, popped up. Shallow left field, and Josh Pearson circles, and Will Helmers delivers. All smiles for the senior.
Absolutely incredible what he was able to do on the mound.
Matty Mateus, meanwhile, has been pretty good himself for North Carolina. 4 innings, 2 hits as well, 1 run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. 50 pitches into this bottom of the 7th against 7, 8, and 9. Hayden Travinski bounces 1 foul. It's 10 in a row for Mateus. North Carolina got 2 in the top of the 1st. LSU got a run in each of the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd innings. Winner to the Super Regionals. The 1-1 down and away. Regardless of how this ends, both these pitchers have totally changed the calculus for both head coaches in terms of the pitching.
And both of these coaches probably did not expect any of these 2 pitchers to do what they've been doing today.
In the air, right field, twisting into the corner. D'Onofrio is over, and it's out of play. It's what you need at this time of the year.
You need somebody to take a step up. Guess what? Will Helmers has taken that step up. Matt Mateus has taken that step up. Keeping the game right where it's at. We did not expect, after these first couple of innings in this game, we were not expecting a 3-2 ball game with only 9 combined hits by these 2 teams.
Travinski bounces it. Gallagher handles the short hop. And away. Bases empty for the freshman center fielder Jake Brown, who tied this game at 2 in the 2nd.
It was a fastball down and in. I love to call it the nitro zone for a lefty. Just dropped the bat head, and boy, he hit it a mile.
It was part of a center field logjam coming down the stretch that includes a 5th-year senior center fielder in Mac Bingham, guy who Jay Johnson had at his previous stop at Arizona. But Jake Brown is probably the most talented of the 3 guys in center field. Paxton Kling part of that mix as well. And Brown has really stepped up. Jay Johnson told us he's got some explosiveness, and that paid off here today. Now Scott Forbes will come out. 2 lefties here at the bottom of the lineup, and a lefty is ready in the pen. And the move is made. Hats off to Matty Mateus. Career long 4 1/3 for the sophomore right-hander in Chapel Hill. Or the 2 seed in this regional, the 7-time national champions LSU. Jake Brown's a lefty. He does stay in there. He's homered in this game. We showed you that. Against the left-handed stud reliever Dalton Pence. Redshirt sophomore from Cherville, North Carolina. Entered this weekend with a low 2 ERA. 7 saves, his 3rd outing of this regional. 2-0.
It's a good fastball, slider, changeup mix. Guy's only hitting .048 on the slider. But still, 178 on the fastball. Really good chase percentage on that fastball and the slider.
'91 on the heater after he worked Friday 2 innings, 32 pitches. Saturday against this LSU team, 2 2/3 hitless for that 7th save, 27 pitches. If he is back at North Carolina next year, again, redshirt sophomore, Scott Forbes is telling us pregame we view him as a starter, weekend rotation, and they view him as an absolute horse, like an Austin Love, so good a few years ago. Bouncing ball up the middle. Colby Wilkerson was shaded that way. Got him. 2 down.
What a nice play by Wilkerson. Getting out to the outfield and then showing off that arm, throwing it across the infield. I mean, look at the range and where he had to go to make that play. And Brown, he can run down that first base line, just beating him. I'm like, you'd have to think, you have a coach telling you, hey, next year you're going to be a starter. Redshirt sophomore, you would think that you would stay because the stock is only going to go up for you.
He's got 93. You mentioned really good fastball. That's what he starts Ethan Fry with, the pinch hitter. Seen a few times this weekend. Big body for Fry. He's been banged up here, but able to pinch hit. That's down. A ball and a strike from Dalton Pence in a 1-run game in the 7th. It's the spot of Ashton Larson, 9-man and right fielder, who had grounded out twice. Pence is pretty good against righties too. Swing and a miss. Good slider, 1-2.
Now we talked about that slider. Really good chase rate. 42% chase rate on the slider.
Dalton Pence is ready with a 1-2 up the ladder. Until he really tried to finish off Fry there with 94.
Reach back a little bit on that one. 94 up in the zone. And with that pitch, there's 2 pitches you can throw, that fastball or the slider. I'm thinking he's going to go back to the slider.
Fastball freezes Fry, and Pence picks up Mateus with a 0. Regional final. Parks Harbor against, yes, Will Helmers, who is still out there for LSU. If you're just joining us, senior. One of the leaders on this team just pitched his way onto the roster recently. Guy who has changed his arm angle in his career. He has starred 5 2/3 of shutout work, 2 hits. Parks Harbor had a single in the first, to be followed by Anthony D'Onofrio and Alberto Osuna. Knee-high strike. North Carolina this year 0-9 when trailing after 7 innings. Down by 1 as we begin the 8th. It's outside. 3-1 on Parks Harbor. There is action up in the LSU pen for Jay Johnson and his pitching coach, Nate Yeski. Double barrel. In the air right side, and that will twist off toward the seats. Full count on the Georgia transfer, Parks Harbor, the All-ACC bat. Nate Ackenhausen. Boy, has he got any bullets? He's been up like 3 times.
He's been warming up a whole bunch out there. We saw him in the first. We saw him in the second.
Ed Fidel Ulloa. 3-2. Harbor foul.
I'm just kind of looking forward. D'Onofrio, he would be coming up. If I had to guess, I mean, at 70 pitches, probably would be the last batter here in Harbor. Seeing if you can get one more out, righty-righty, and then you can go to your bullpen.
3-2 is down. 2 innings in a row. North Carolina's had the leadoff man aboard. Last night, Stranded 12, including 10 in the final 4 innings. Here's Anthony D'Onofrio. Is now the time Jay Johnson makes a move. Here it comes. Yep, making the move.
He's not even waiting to go over there. You're not going to talk me into this one. We're going to go ahead and make the move. And I mean, you can't ask for any more than what Wilhelmers was able to do in this ballgame.
Nate Ackenhausen follows Wilhelmers. And all Wilhelmers did tonight was pitch the biggest game of his LSU career. The senior hands it off with a lead in the 8th inning and a must-win game. And boy, he was dealing. Gives way to Nate Ackenhausen. North Carolina's got the tying run aboard in the 8th inning, and this is Anthony D'Onofrio, who's had a huge regional. First pitch swinging against Ackenhausen, who was the starter yesterday. Got 2 outs through 27 pitches and then was replaced. He has excelled on the biggest stages before in Omaha last year.
Ackenhausen with the fastball slider changeup mix. That fastball we saw yesterday, 95 miles an hour, is going to stick between that 91 to 93 range.
Jay Johnson told us that Wofford, who Ackenhausen pitched against yesterday, they just ambushed him in that first inning when Wofford put up 5. But LSU responded. Carter French, by the way, is the pinch runner in for the first baseman Harbor. Here's Nate Ackenhausen ready with an 0-2. Down to D'Onofrio. Such a hot bat for North Carolina. Came in with an OPS near 1,000. Parks Harbor said yesterday, Anthony D'Onofrio, he's carrying us a lot right now. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 1 away.
Ackenhausen just sticking with the slider. And boy, it's a really good one. Has a 36% chase rate. D'Onofrio chases that one down in the ground. But boy, that's a tough pitch at 84 miles an hour. A lot of action to it.
Bulk of his strikeouts are on that pitch. Now Alberto Osuna, who's 0 for 3. Power hitting DH in the 5 spot. First pitch swinging, tops it foul. Alberto Osuna came up in the first inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. After a bases loaded walk and went. First pitch swinging, double play ball to short. He's got a chance here with North Carolina down a run in the 8th inning. Check on French.
Kind of look at what Jay Johnson was doing, knowing that D'Onofrio was going to be up, then Ozuna, and then another lefty in Stevenson.
Oh, 1.
Right now, that slider's working so good that fastball to me is almost like a show pitch. Hey, I'm going to just let your eye see something hard, and then I'm going to come right back to that slider.
A pacing Jay Johnson, which is redundant. The 1-1. Off the end of the bat, foul. 1-2 on Alberto Osuna.
Jay Johnson has a Fitbit. He might have about 10,000 steps already just in that dugout.
It's like you going to the bookstore here the other day to do some sightseeing around
we can't
campus.
talk about that one. I'm still feeling that one. You got to go uphill both ways.
Red in the face.
Boy, was I tired.
Chapel Hill for a reason.
Ooh.
1 out, 1 on, 8th inning, 1-run game. Nate Ackenhausen's 1-2. Put away. As he set up the slider now.
I mean, that's kind of what it seems like to me. Just kind of show that fastball just to speed up the eyes to go right back to that slider. See if he tries to back foot Ozuna here.
Alberto Osuna has put in so much work on his two-strike approach. Choked up ahead of the 2-2 pitch. It's down. Full count on Osuna.
The only thing I'm wondering here is Scott Forbes going to go ahead and send the runner. Is he going to send French out there to second base, get guys moving with Osuna up?
Not going and cut on and missed. 2 away.
Power versus power. Goes straight to the fastball. Osuna can't catch up to it.
Well, Scott Forbes is going to make a move here. Luke Stevenson is the blue chip freshman catcher who's had a heck of a season. Just a couple of knocks though in this regional, and 0 for 3. And so the senior Johnny Castanazzi, right-hand hitter against the lefty, will get a chance. A lot of starting experience in his career, and a guy who Scott Forbes credited the other night when he came in defensively for just staying ready. Now Brady Neal will come out, perhaps not expecting that move there. 6-hole hitting catcher lifted for Johnny Castanazzi.
Yeah, this could just be one of those stall tactics just to kind of see how you're going to want to pitch to him. Let the coaching staff kind of go through the numbers and just focus in on, hey, what is the best pitch to get the out?
And look who's up in the LSU bullpen.
Boy.
Their game 1 starter on Friday, Gage Jump. We were told by Jay Johnson pregame that this might be a possibility, but he even wasn't certain of it when we talked with him about 90 minutes before the game. But there is Gage Jump. They were going to test it out when Jump played catch pregame. And if anything, Jay Johnson said, one-time deal, 1 inning maybe to finish it. Right now, it's Johnny Castanazzi, tying run aboard with 2 outs in the 8th. First pitch. He's down, ball 1 to Castanazzi. It's a pretty highly regarded recruit. Johnny Castanazzi arrived as a freshman and has had tons of experience over 4 years. Bright lights here. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. Got to go back to the conference tournament to find the last at bat for Johnny Castanazzi. The 1-1 takes down. 2-1.
Not easy to do. Haven't been really swinging the bat. Go out there, yeah, you take the BP. You take the balls in the cage. You take the balls off the machine. It's not the same of being in that batter's box with the pitcher on the mound.
Man aboard with 2 outs. Nate Ackenhausen is ready with the 2-1. Slider misses. 3-1.
Boy, laying off some good pitches, especially you talked about only last AB was in the conference tournament. Been a while.
Last hit was in the middle of April. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count on Castanazzi. And Brady Neal kept it close enough with the walk-on Carter French at first.
Runners will be moving.
How many times did we see this last night between these two heavyweight programs? High leverage spot in the late innings with North Carolina threatening against the LSU bullpen. Nate Ackenhausen's 3-2. Swing and a miss! He strikes out Castanazzi and preserves the lead. To leave a man for North Carolina. To the bottom of the 8th, Dalton Pence against top man in the LSU lineup, Tommy Tanks. What a game this has been, and what pitching out of the Pens. The 1-0. Crank to left, and Tommy White out in front of it. Parker Haskin is taking over catching because Scott Forbes elected to pinch hit for Luke Stevenson with Johnny Castanazzi after Carter French ran for Parks Harbor. Tried to make the move for the right-hand bat. The 1-1. Back foot breaker misses. 2-1 from Pence. This regional hasn't disappointed.
Oh my goodness. I mean, every single game, you've just been on your edge of your seat.
2-1. How about the way the LSU offense has stepped up as well with comebacks the last few weeks? I mean, only getting down 2-0 early, but we had talked about the importance of who strikes first.
Yeah.
And it was North Carolina with 2 in the top of the first. But LSU's been unfazed the last 2 weeks when they've gone down. A couple times they've gone down big. Up and away, and he got him. 1 away. And then when you're in the loser's bracket like LSU was after falling to North Carolina on Saturday night, you knew you had to win 3. And some big names have stepped up. Griffin Herring yesterday, Will Helmers today, and Thatcher Hurd last night. Scott Forbes said to us down on the field he looked like a first rounder.
He said, man, that guy was good last night. Fastball 95, 96 miles an hour. He looked incredible.
There's Monster Milam. LSU trying to win a 7th straight elimination game in the NCAA tournament.
And if you're UNC, it's huge right now that Dalton Pence does not allow another insurance run here.
This one's popped up outside of first, and Castanazzi runs it down. Ooh. Helping the cause for Pence, trying to do just that.
And this ball just jammed. Castanazzi getting out there. That's a brick wall.
Yes.
There's no padding on that.
It's not a metaphor, like it often is. Dalton Pence loves it. Scott Forbes, we told you, so proud of Johnny Castanazzi stepping up and accepting a new role down the stretch. So 2 away. Here's Jared Jones, homered in the 3rd. He's tied for 6th in the country with his 28 home runs.
This could be a huge AB here for Jones. If he is able to put barrel to baseball and send another one out, you have just given insurance run to LSU, making this a 4-2 ball game. And we have seen in this game so far, not only has it been tough to get hits, but it has been really tough to put anybody on base. Oh boy.
What do we got? Jones bloodied a little bit?
A little bloody. It's okay. A little scrape.
2-0. 3-0. And you just heard Bear, Jared Jones, his nickname. His at-bats have been phenomenal, in the words of Jay Johnson this weekend. 3-0 from Pence, pitching him carefully. And Jones walks for the 8th time in this regional, and potential insurance is aboard for LSU. North Carolina will have 7, 8, and 9 in the top of the 9th inning. And it sure looks like it could be Gage Jump. Premium arm, who pitched into the 8th inning in his start the other day on Friday to open up this regional with 102 pitches for the Fighting Tigers. Josh Pearson, the batter, the cleanup man, had a run-scoring ground out and a pull-side double. Fastball didn't miss by much. Ball 1 from Dalton Pence.
And that's why you kind of saw the way that they were pitching Jared Jones very carefully. If you walk him, it would be fine because then you get that lefty-lefty matchup. The only problem is that Pearson seems to come up huge every single time that LSU has needed the big hit.
2-0. So 6 straight out of the zone from Dalton Pence here. That's the heart of the lineup. Told you he's really good against lefties, holding them to a .540 OPS this year, according to our friends at 643 Charts. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning, 1-run game. Check swing. Pearson went around, according to Danny Jimenez. 2-1. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cut and a miss, 93, 2-2. Since the end of the 3rd inning in this game, we've had 1 hit. It's been hard to come by offensively against 2 impressive bullpens tonight. 2-2. On the ground, comebacker up the middle, Wilkerson. Pick on the back end, not made by Castanazzi. The inning continues, and there's 2 on for the Tigers.
I'm thinking that ball got hit off the glove of Pence, slows it down enough. Yep, there's the redirection. So when Wilkerson gets it, he has to rush that throw. Ends up throwing it into the ground. It's going to be an E6. Castanazzi just can't come up with it. That's a tough one.
Glove first shortstop. Colby Wilkerson tried to make the play. LSU threatens, looking for more. Here's Michael Braswell. First pitch swinging, serves it foul. Tension caked all over this game and this ballpark in Chapel Hill. It all got going on Friday. We had both these teams win via walk-off. 2 walk-off home runs same day in a regional. We'd never had that happen before. 1-1. Vance Honeycutt smacked 2 home runs against LSU Saturday in the first of now 3 meetings between these teams. And now LSU is trying to win a 3rd straight elimination game. They've got the lead by 1 in the 8th inning. 1-1. Braswell floats it, shallow right. D'Onofrio makes the running catch. We go to the 9th inning. Will it be Gage Jump? Yes, it will for LSU against the Tar Heels.
Ever since then, he's been in that starting rotation. Elite fastball, slider, curveball, changeup mix. Really good chase rate with the fastball. Really good whip rate with that fastball.
Jay Johnson was not certain that he would be good to go. They wanted to see how it went when he played catch pregame. Here he is for 7, 8, and 9. And ball 1 to Gavin Gallagher. Pumped it at 95 from Gage Jump. Gallagher, the steely freshman, is 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of groundouts. Gallagher pops it foul, and it's 1-1 against Jump, the transfer from UCLA. Didn't pitch last year because of Tommy John, so they built him up slowly, including that relief appearance on opening day in February. 1-2 on Gavin Gallagher.
Well, it looks like the 100 pitches didn't really do much. That's 94, 95. Still on that fastball.
One-time deal, Jay Johnson told us. Finish it out. And here he is. 1-2. The laddered in 10th at 96. It's an elite fastball. Teammates have called it untouchable. Gage Jumps 2-2. Breaking ball pulled over wide into left field. A base hit, Gavin Gallagher. It's a leadoff double for the freshman.
Gallagher gets the slider and stays on it enough. The back knee dropping straight down to the ground as he's able to float it over Tommy White, getting himself into scoring position. Of course, we would have this type of drama in the 9th inning of this regional.
For most, the edge of your seat is the resting position. For Jay Johnson, it's a permanent pace in the first base dugout. We have not lacked drama in Chapel Hill. Next up is Alex Madera, very good bunter with a lot of speed, high on base guy for North Carolina.
So here's a situation that you have in this type of environment. One, lefty-lefty, that's going to be tough. But two, North Carolina is the away team.
Right.
Tying up the game, that just means LSU still has a chance.
Madera takes a strike as he pulled back.
I would like to see him swing the bat. It's a lefty. Go ahead, swing the bat. If you put the ball in contact on that right side, you're still going to do the job of moving the runner over. They're playing in. They're expecting the bunt. So you might be able to hit a ball hard enough to just get through that infield.
He singled to the pull side his last time. Has walked as well. Pulls back and that's a ball. 1-1 from Gage Jump. Scott Forbes played small ball in the 7th. Leadoff single. Colby Wilkerson, who's on deck here in the 9th spot. He sacrificed with a bunt. And Scott Forbes showing the same here. ACC Coach of the Year trying to concoct a way down a run. Madera squares. Foul toward third. Us too, buddy. Man at second. The 1-2, he squares again. Bunts it fair up the line. And foul. Strike 3. Madera punches out. Have you ever seen that in your life on a 2-strike bunt?
I mean, great job by Tommy White not to just go and get that ball. I don't know how far that ball was foul. I mean, that's in fair territory. It's bouncing the whole way. Right before it gets to the base, goes foul.
Wow. For the first out of this 9th inning. This weekend in College Station and Chapel Hill, the third base bag's been the center of attention in the college baseball world. Now Colby Wilkerson, the senior shortstop. First pitch swinging on 94. Just when you think you've seen it all.
That's just heads-up play by Tommy White. And the reason why I think he did it is that if he goes and actually tries to make that play, I think he knew that he wasn't going to get the out at first.
Popped up, foul, nothing at 2. But it is a gamble, too.
It's
right?
a gamble.
Like
I mean,
that goes off
well,
the back.
well, here's the thing. If it's fair, the runner's moving anyways. If you go ahead and attack that ball and you try to get the out, he's still going to be at third base. He's probably going to be safe at first. So your best chance is let it see if it goes foul. Heads up play.
Gage Jump is ready with the 0-2. In on the hands and popped up and foul ground. Brady Neal will look it off to the seats. I mean, you start thinking about where the pebbles are on the third base line. We were jokingly talking about this the other day, but it's serious. As an infielder, cleaning your area.
Cleaning your area up. That way you eliminate those bad hops.
Or in that case, if you're Tommy White, you want that thing to take a turn.
They took that left-hand turn.
Wow. LSU by a run, trying to get to the Super Regionals. So 1 for 8. North Carolina with runners in scoring position in this game. Last night, in the second of 3 meetings between this team, they stranded 12. 10 over the last 4 innings. It's 7 tonight. And Vance Honeycutt, their superstar, likely first rounder, is on deck. Gage jump is ready with another 0-2. Brady Neal is ready to punch out Kobe Wilkerson himself. Everybody on high alert for Alley Caps Adorn, the Carolina faithful in Chapel Hill, number 4 national seed, down to its last 2 outs. Road team here, top 9, as Gabby said. 1-2. Fouled away. Brady Neal comes to the assistance of Kellen Levi behind the plate.
Goes back to that fastball, fouls it straight back, and ooh. Look at this, Wilkerson was right on that pitch too.
Coming out of the fall, Kobe Wilkerson was not in the starting spot on the depth chart at shortstop where he had been last year. They told him he was a backup, so he came back for the spring semester ready. Biggest spot for him tonight. Check swing, did he go? No, 2-2. The bunts and the check swings are even thrilling. Gavin Gallagher doubled. Off Gage jump. On in relief for the second time all season. The Friday starters 2-2. In the air, left field. Falling fast, and it drops down. Gallagher scores. Tied. Chapel thrill.
You could say 94 in on the hands. Wilkerson just muscles this ball out to left field. Great read by Gallagher at second, realizing that ball's going to fall. Takes off running right away. Tie, ball game.
And here's Vance Honeycutt. Hoping this isn't the end of his college career. Scott Forbes has said, I think he's the best player in the country. Defense, stolen bases, power. Thinks Vance is the most dynamic player ever at this school. Gage jumps 1-0. High and tight again, 2-0. Heaters from jump. Local guy 90 minutes away from Salisbury, North Carolina. Jumps 2-0. Sticks with the heater.
He's just sticking with it. I mean, you're talking power versus power. Power of Vance Honeycutt. We saw what Vance Honeycutt did on a fastball against this LSU team.
2-1. Honeycutt cuts through another. 2-2. I mean, it was a slider that Gavin Gallagher hit off Gage jump. Bottom of the zone. Yep. Gallagher to left.
Off the knee.
And loving the heater since. Jumps 2-2. Up high, full count. Now the pitch count's up as well for Gage jump. It's at 23. He's got 1 out. A guy who's had TJ before, coming back after starting Friday. And you know this makes Jay Johnson nervous. 1 on, 1 out tie game. Payoff. Inside, ball 4. What do you do if you're Jay Johnson? 24 pitches. Go-ahead run is in scoring position. Still only one out.
I mean, at this point, right? This is your dude, and you got to trust in your dude to be able to get yourself out of this inning.
Here is Casey Cook, the all-ACC left fielder. A hit and a walk. And there's a slider left on left, but it missed.
And Casey Cook, one of the things that he does well is hit the fastball, especially velocity, 95 miles an hour and above.
So he gets another slider.
And really good pitch. You would think that pitch he could have thrown a couple different times, because it's a good one.
Wilkerson and Honeycutt aboard. Fastball pinned to the edge for strike 2. Gage jump is ready. With his 1-2. Pulled to second and Milam. Not in time. Wilkerson just got back to the bag, and there's 2 down.
Boy, that was close. Cook hits this one really well. How about Milam? And yeah, that hand does get in there, but how about Milam, the way that he was able to make that play? Basically falling backwards and still make a strong throw over to second.
Well, the umpires come together here, and in the last 2 innings and in extras, you can have crew chief review. So we'll go have a look at this on Colby Wilkerson trying to get back to the bag.
It looks like that hand's in there.
Yeah. So should stay 2 on 2 outs, and you would think that North Carolina will ponder the possibility of pinch hitter in this spot. Get another look at it here.
That's a Superman dive over to second base too. But yeah, it looks like that hand is touching there, and you don't see the ball into the glove at all.
We think this should be confirmed.
Yeah, I think this one is going to be confirmed.
Confirmed, safe at second, and the inning continues. So now the wheels turn a little bit because of how Scott Forbes has managed this already. This is the spot of Parker Haskin, grad student transfer from Elon, who came on defensively because this all goes back to Scott Forbes pinch hitting for his stud freshman catcher Luke Stevenson. Wanted a righty instead of a lefty. So here's Haskin. You don't want to burn your backup catcher either. First pitch swinging on the ground at Braswell. Up with it. In time. Gage jump gets out of it. But Carolina ties it. You see him there in this game. Gabby Sanchez, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you for a regional that is not disappointed. Here's Brady Neal against Dalton Pence. By the way, if you're looking for UConn and Oklahoma, you see top right of your screen flashing through. That game will start on ESPNU, and then when we're done here, we'll pick up here on ESPN2. 1-0 to Brady Neal. Is in for a strike from Pence. If you're just joining us, Dalton Pence, stud reliever, all ACC. Scott Forbes thinks he's one of the best relievers, top 2 in the league. Against Brady Neal. Caught and a miss through 91. Brady Neal's bat has come on the last couple of days, and so he has reasserted himself as the starting catcher for LSU just in the last 36 hours. 1-2. Up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both these teams had walk-off home runs to win their first game here on Friday. 3-3, bottom 9. Dalton Pence is 2-2. Neal strikes out. One away.
And Dalton Pence just continues, has that fastball slider working. There's a reason why he's out there right now. Well, we knew we were going to have a game like this for some reason.
Sure did.
Every single game in this regional has been this.
Edge of your seat stuff throughout. Carolina pitching coach Brian Gaines comes out. And remember with Dalton Pence, if you're just joining us, he's pitching for the third time in 4 days. He had thrown a total of 59 pitches Friday and Saturday. That was his most on consecutive days at any point this season. Now, one time this year, he had gone 3 times in 4 days. That was back in the middle of April. And he's doing that again here. Third time in a 4-day span. And this is more pitches than he did at that point. So they're stretching him to the outer limits of what he's been asked to do this year. But this is a big-time arm at the back end.
And especially right now in this kind of situation, you need your big boys to step up. You got to remember, too, Ryan Gaines goes out there to talk with him because Travinski, go back to yesterday's game in that 5th inning, hit a monstrous home run. So there's a lot of power in that bat.
5th-year senior DH came back for a 5th season. Native of Shreveport, Louisiana, whose bat was so good last year. He is ultra confident and says so. The 1-0. That's down 2-0 from Dalton Pence. Jay Johnson said to us last year about Hayden Travinski, this dude's got serious confidence. He wasn't ready at the outset of last year, but boy did he deliver for him down the stretch. 2-0. Travinski pops it foul. Travinski's endured throughout his career 3 knee surgeries combined on both knees in the span of 14 months at this point last year. The gritty 5th-year guy laces one into right field, a base hit. Winning run is on for LSU with 1 out as the home team in the bottom of the 9th. They'll run for him, as you would expect, with Mac Bingham. The Arizona transfer started a lot in center field as recently as Friday in the regional opener for LSU.
And for LSU, just looking for one. Not trying to be greedy. Just a nice little hit. Get guys in motion. Try to send yourself to a super.
Here's Jake Brown, the freshman. Ball 1 outside. Brown has held his own against left-handed pitching this year. OPS around 780, so right around average. And that's pretty good for left on left.
It's a little bit different, too, when you're talking about a pitcher like Dalton Pence.
Spiked, and what a block by Parker Haskin, who's in there again, just cold off the bench.
I mean, just keeping that ball from getting by you. Keeping that runner at first, that's going to be huge.
Parker Haskin, who has started 1 game all season, tasked with this in the bottom of the 9th, receiving with Pence. That's inside 3-0 on Jake Brown.
Can't walk him. Got to go right after him if you're Dalton Pence. Last thing that you want to do is walk a guy in this situation and put a runner in scoring position. You would think that Brown is going to be taking here no matter what.
42nd pitch from Pence is dotted knee high. 3rd time in 4 days, like we said. Matt Poston is another one of the arms Scott Forbes had on his cheat sheet for tonight. Another back end piece. They run it up there into the upper 90s. 3-1 to Brown. In the air, center field. Honeycutt goes back on the move and makes the catch. 2 down.
Boy, that ball was well struck by Brown. But Honeycutt out there in center field. It's like that one guy that you look at in the outfield going, don't hit it that way. Don't hit it to center field because he's going to be a vacuum cleaner out there.
Two-time ACC Defensive Player of the Year and the best outfielder in the country defensively by defensive runs saved. Here's Paxton Kling. That's for the first time. Came in off the bench defensively in center. This is the spot of the 9-hole. Began with Ashton Larson. Kling was a decorated recruit when he showed up ahead of last year as a freshman at LSU. Now as sophomores come in off the bench throughout this weekend for the Tigers.
Hypothetical. If Kling is not able to get the hit and they're out, they are setting themselves up really well in that 10th inning. Top of the order.
Fouled away, 0-2.
Of course you would want Kling to get on to give Tommy White a chance to drive in the winning run.
Crowd to its feet in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, tie game. Winning run aboard. Dalton Pence deals an 0-2. Up the ladder! Sanchez, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you. To the 10th, and Gage Jump is back out with ball 1. 4, 5, and 6 for North Carolina. And Gage Jump, who threw 30 pitches in the 9th inning, is out for the 10th.
The only reason why he's out is because he told Jay Johnson, I'm good to go.
Anthony D'Onofrio, cleanup man, cuts through the slider.
Boy, that's a good slider to a lefty. A lot of action to it.
The 6th-year senior at his 4th different school waits on a 1-1. Sliced foul. LSU all-time in extra inning NCAA tournament games, 13-3. They've won 4 straight of them. You might remember a certain game against Wake Forest in Omaha. North Carolina's 5-3 all-time. In the air on a line left field, and Pearson makes the catch. 1 gone. Two Titans in this sport. North Carolina has got the 6th most all-time wins in college baseball history against LSU in its 7 national championships. 2nd most all-time. Alberto Osuna bats, 5th-year senior DH. First pitch swinging. You weren't with us in the 1st inning. He had a chance with the bases loaded. Bases are empty for Osuna here in the 10th against Jump.
We've seen Jump against righties throwing a lot of fastballs. Hasn't really thrown that slider. Threw it one time and it was to Gallagher, and he ended up hitting the double to left. After that, he really started to rely heavy on that fastball. Against lefties, he has been utilizing that slider a whole bunch.
0-2. Swing and a miss. Only gas necessary. 95 for out number 2.
You throw 95, 96 miles an hour, you just stick with it. And here it is. 95 miles an hour, up and away.
So 2 outs, base is empty for Johnny Castanazzi in the 6th spot. Again, where the freshman catcher Luke Stevenson originally got pinch hit for. Senior does take a breaking ball for ball 1. It's up and away. 2-0. Soft stuff to the righty, Castanazzi. third meeting between these teams in 3 days. 2-0. That's for a strike with a slider.
He was throwing fastballs to every single righty.
We promise you that.
As he goes up there, says, here, how about a couple sliders in a row for you?
41st pitch of the night for Jump. On line right field. Backing up Brown at the wall. Can't make the catch. Go ahead run at second for Carolina. Freshman who started this game in center and then moved to right.
Now you could just see the head just gets away from the ball last minute, looks away, and I've got to look at maybe was it the lights that got in his eyes, because it looked like he was all over it, and last second that head looked down and that ball was missed. Finally got the fastball, and Castanazzi was able to drive it to right field.
Johnny Castanazzi is fired up in this huddle as he will get run forward by one of the captains on this team. The senior infielder Jackson Vanderbrake, also like Castanazzi, a one-time starter, serving a different role, but representing the go-ahead would-be run in the 10th for North Carolina. Nate Yeske, the pitching coach, is out for a visit, and so Gavin Guidry, who was nails at the end last night for LSU, and Fidel Ulloa, the hard-throwing right-handed reliever. They're both up for the Fighting Tigers. Long conversation from Nate Yeske. Finally, Kellen Levi will speed things up. So, Gage Jump, again, if you're just joining us, #1 starting pitcher, prize transfer from UCLA, 63rd on Kylie McDaniel's draft rankings. The redshirt sophomore from California threw 102 pitches on Friday and a walk-off win for LSU. Coming back in relief, only the second time all season he's done it. And he's dealing with a man at second. And they're going to walk Gavin Gallagher intentionally. The true freshman who's already got a walk-off grand slam in this regional. And when he saw Jump last inning, doubled off him to tie this game.
Well, I mean, I just think you have the base open, no reason to throw to a righty. Get your lefty-lefty matchup.
So here's Alex Madera with 2 outs. D3 transfer, second baseman in the 8th spot. A walk and a single in this game. Down with a slider to start, left on left from Gage Jump. A line out and a strikeout, then an error in right on Jake Brown, the intentional walk. 1-0 to Alex Madera. Is pinned at the knees, outside edge. 1-1. Vanderbrake and Gallagher aboard for the Tar Heels. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 93. Remember, it's an elite fastball with all the characteristics that make it swing and miss, paired with a velo for Gage Jump.
And if you're Madera here, you're not trying to pull. You've got a big opening right back up the middle, and you can be able to stay on that slider to left.
The 1-2. Outside. It is shirt biting time in the stands, rally cap time, pacing time in dugouts. 2 on, 2 out, 10th inning, tied up. The 2-2 is down, full count. Colby Wilkerson's on deck, and the runners will be in motion. Remember, if you're just joining us, the way regionals work, it's not North Carolina as the host, always the home team. LSU serving as the home team here in Chapel Hill in this game. Top 10. Gage jumps, payoff. On the ground, center field, base hit. North Carolina leads.
And the error in right by Brown proves costly. Talked about it with Madera up to bat. They gave you a big opening right back up the box. It's exactly what he does on a 3-2 pitch with runners moving. Doesn't try to do too much, just hits the ball right back up the box. And all of a sudden UNC has a 4-3 lead in the top of the 10th.
With runners at the corners for Colby Wilkerson. How wild has this regional been?
And here's the thing, too. If you're LSU, this is where you needed to stop here. You do have 1, 2, 3 coming up. You've got your big boys in White, Milam, and Jones.
Tommy Tanks with his team now trailing. LSU has won 6 straight elimination games in the NCAA tournament. The reigning national champs now trail. Colby Wilkerson. First pitch swinging.
Wilkerson, his last AB against Jump, did get that base hit, that big base hit to tie the ball game up. It was that fastball up that he was able to just muscle out to left field. So this is the second time that he has seen him in the same amount of innings.
0-1. In for a strike, 0-2. Gage jumps ready. Runner takes out from first and jump. Watches that happen.
Great job by Jump to not balk in that situation. Could have easily happened. Emotions get to you. Crowd is on their feet. They're loud. Very easy for a guy to take off, and all of a sudden you just flinch.
Jason DeCaro summoning noise in the Carolina dugout. 2 on, 2 out, 0-2. Up the ladder to the bottom of the 10. Jump frustrated. Tommy White is hoping to continue his college career. The Fighting Tigers trail. They've had comebacks in them. Madera gave Carolina the lead. Regionals, last 16 teams in the country. LSU, bottom 10, serving as the home team with Tommy White against Dalton Pence. Tommy White, as recognizable a name as there's been in college baseball the last 3 years. With 75 home runs, he has become Tommy Tanks. He started his college career just down the road here in the Triangle at NC State. Now 2 years at LSU. In the air toward right, twisting off toward the corner. D'Onofrio's over, and there's one away. North Carolina's led Tommy White here at points this weekend. And Tommy White with a chance, but he flies out to right. One gone. 1-run game, and here's the freshman Stephen Monster Milam. In this atmosphere, which Scott Forbes said to us during this game, he can't remember it being like this in Chapel Hill. Strike one from Dalton Pence. Strikeout, strikeout, ground out, pop out and foul ground to first for the Steely freshman with 2 walk-offs the last 2 weeks. Milam in the air to right. D'Onofrio started in. Now he backs up. 2 down. You know baseball superstition, and everyone loves it. Mike Fox, the longtime retired head coach here. We got wind of this yesterday. When North Carolina was winning, he hadn't changed his clothes in 3 days. He told that to Scott Forbes down on the field pregame, and after Carolina's loss yesterday, he said, better be in a different outfit today. North Carolina with a little magic here in the 9th and 10th. Is now 1 out away.
And you got decisions now if you're Scott Forbes. And it's tough because of who you have hitting right now.
Jared Jones, ball 1. Top 10 in the country in home runs, including his 28th here tonight in the 3rd.
Now you do have Pearson, a lefty, behind Jones. But do you take the chance to walk Jones to put a guy on?
Swing and a miss. Dalton Pence is a bulldog on the mound. His teammates were telling us, and he is all fastballs coming right at you. Bottom 10, 2 outs. The 1-1. Jones in the air toward the right, and that will curl off foul. 1 and 2. North Carolina's 1 strike away from the Supers. LSU down to its final strike. One, 2. Up high. Pence reached back for 93. Boy, if you can get on, even though it's left on left, Josh Pearson is clutch.
He is clutch. He's been clutch. Yesterday had himself quite a day.
Dalton Pence is ready with a 2-2. Up high. Full count on Jared Jones, who's walked 8 times in this regional and has worked so hard to limit chase over the last year. Fastball.
That's his pitch.
Dalton Pence fires.
It's one of those fastballs too where if he misses, I don't think he's upset about it. The last thing that you want to do to a guy like Jared Jones is leave him a fastball over the heart of the plate, because he can make that baseball disappear.
Dalton Pence with another 3-2. Fouled back by Jones.
See where every single one of these heaters up. Everything up. Everything up.
Fans peeking around hands and hats all night in Chapel Hill. 8th pitch of the plate appearance between Pence and Jones. It's on the way. Ball 4. Wow. Tying run is on. Winning run to the plate on a borderline 3-2.
Very good 3-2 pitch, but I think they got this one right. I felt like this one was down, away. You see Haskins kind of reach and try to bring it back. Not upset there. And we said, you do not want to leave anything over the heart of the plate because Jones can hit a ball a mile. You are not upset going lefty, lefty. The problem is that Pearson has had some huge hits in this regional for LSU.
Oh, man. Matt Poston, by now you know he's ready.
Oh, he's ready.
The adrenaline will do it plenty for Matt Poston. But Dalton Pence gets the visit from his pitching coach, Bryant Gaines. And Josh Pearson waits. 3-year regular for LSU with a smile. Jay Johnson said to us he's got the it factor.
He's not afraid of these situations, and he has proven that in this regional. We wouldn't have it any other way.
a guy who's had major moments as part of the national championship team last year. Hadn't had a home run in May. What did he do yesterday? Two-run shots. Jay Johnson said yesterday, when you need him, he's there. He's their cleanup man for a reason. In the air, sliced foul.
These are the situations where, as a hitter, of course, you want to be the hero. And as a coach, you're saying, please don't try to do too much, because that's when you don't hit the home run. Take your nice regular swing. Barrel to baseball.
0-1. That's a strike, 0-2. Pearson didn't like it. Pence ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Dalton Pence trying to send North Carolina to the Super Regionals. Pearson standing in his way. 0-2. Down and away, and Haskin blocks it, but Jones moves up into scoring position. We got Jones and Wilkerson smiling. They're about the only ones calm right now.
Boy, I mean, Jones was taken off there in that situation. And all of a sudden, now a base hit ties this game up. Now you don't need that big homer. Left side is completely open.
1-2. Check swing. Did he go? No. 2-2.
Right now, if you're Pearson, it's not trying to do too much. You're kind of looking at that defense. And they're giving you the ability to just let that ball travel a little bit and hit it the opposite way and tie this game up.
It's been pull heavy this weekend. 2-2. In the air, center field. Honeycutt backs up. Makes the catch. Cardiac Carolinas headed to the Supers. The number 4 national seed, North Carolina, is moving on to Super Regionals. Alex Madera drives in what proves to be the winning run, and the Tar Heels will host a Super here next weekend against West Virginia. And LSU, who battled back from the brink of elimination twice yesterday, bows out in the regionals. That was one heck of a baseball game.
This was one heck of a regional. I mean, kudos to LSU for what they did. Pearson hit that ball as good as you can hit anything. Honeycutt, of course, we talked about him defensively and what he means to this club. UNC battling back, down by 1 in the 9th inning, tying it up, scoring 1 in the 10th. Dalton Pence able to shut it down.